Well, Christian, what did you think of Somerville?
I thought it was okay. What'd you think of Somerville? Tucker, you love Inside. I mean, Limbo.
Limbo is art, as lore fanatics of the socket know.
Its style is great, even if it's a complete ripoff of Eraserhead in terms of both visual and audio design.
This was not a very good game, Christian.
No. What were you thinking going into Somerville, Tucker? Where were your expectations at?
Well, I hated Limbo.
Got it.
And then Inside was like, what if Limbo was a good game that had some sort of intent behind it and knew how to please a human being in a way,
Yeah.
Which is something I'm still working out. And then my expectations for this one were, this is probably just going to be Inside but bad because it's like one person that worked on Inside, right? Split off. And he's like, I'm going to make a game that's kind of like Inside, but it's a little more 3D and it's got an art style.
Yes. I think that was the thing that I was getting hung up on. Because like the guy, I think he's a producer or something, left Playdead.
Yeah.
Who did Limbo and Inside. And he's like, I feel like you guys know what you're doing. I'm going to do my own studio. And then produced Somerville.
I'm not impressed by your production credits, sir, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I realized why my plosives aren't working. I forgot my pop screen. I'll be right back.
Oh, don't forget it.
Here you are, you sexy little beast.
Anyway, what were we saying? Oh, screw producers, man. You don't even do anything. You just sit in your chair and you collect your paychecks, man.
Right.
We're making art games over here about space.
I guess it goes to show how much that one dude was pulling the load, man. My goodness.
Well, I don't think that one dude would make this game because it's just this game again.
Right.
Like, that's not the point. It's not what he does.
Well, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, if it's Inside with aliens, like, sure, I'll play Inside again, except there's aliens this time. Why not?
Right. In some ways, that's what this is.
Kind of. There's like a part right towards the end where I was like, oh, okay, if this is what it was, then they would understand. This feels like they understood what Inside was. The rest of it, not so much.
What part are we talking?
There's a part where you like
tower?
You're like starting a generator by pushing triggers in a certain order. And it's like this weird abstract thing where the game doesn't tell you what you're supposed to do.
Right.
You just kind of figure out, you push one trigger, the other trigger, and then both of them together to make this generator go.
Way too long.
Right. Yeah. For like 10 straight minutes, which is a little long on the tooth, but that feels like something that they would have done in Inside. That feels like the kind of thing that they would have done there. They wouldn't have you walk through an abandoned music festival and a mine shaft for half of the game's runtime.
Limbo would.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Limbo would do that to you, but No, Inside I would always like twist the knife though.
Ooh, yeah.
You know? It was always kind of cruel in a way. Like when you would solve a puzzle, it'd be like, ooh, I've just killed chicks.
Totally.
Not so much with this one. But this is a sort of horrible story being told about the white family unit.
Yep.
The most nondescript, like white Pacific Northwest family in the world arrives at a house. And then
man, wife, child, dog.
I need to take umbrage with something here.
Okay.
This is your introduction to these characters as a sort of house sequence, right?
Yep.
We're all napping in front of Family Guy on the TV, and then aliens attack. And maybe this is just like a portent of things to come, but the first puzzle is designed by someone who has never in their life done manual labor or something. Freaked me out, because what you need to do is feed your dog. And you have this like 50-pound bag of dog food in the basement, right? Which is already like, what? The puzzle is not take the dog dish down to the dog food and fill it with dog food. It's carry this huge bag of dog food up basement stairs to the kitchen so you can pour it into the dog, and then he like takes it back downstairs. Like, what's happening? No one would ever do this.
Are you saying you wouldn't control a baby and walk into the kitchen so that you can open some drawers to climb up to a window and fall in a garbage can?
I would do that. I would do that before I haul dog food to here and back, just for no reason. You just, in that moment, you can tell that this is going to be a game about humanity made by someone who doesn't understand what that means. And maybe that's interesting in a way.
Yeah.
But like, here's what I think a toddler is.
Yeah.
And then here's what I think a person would do in a common situation. And neither of them hit. It's like, oh, this is going to be a game.
How very alien.
Ooh. Yeah. Did this alien design do anything for you? Like this aesthetic they're working in here?
It might have if they handled it better. That was my problem with most of it, is I wanted them to do it better. They didn't do it good.
What was bad and what could have been?
I don't know, like Inside just lets you, it gives you like little insights, little pinpricks at what might be happening. Like you start out, you're just a kid running around, and then you run past this farm and there's slugs coming out of pig butts and people being brain controlled or something. And you're just going through this assembly line of all of this crazy stuff happening. And then this game, like they show all of the cards like right away, and there's like no,
they're bad.
There's
cards.
there's no intrigue or interesting things to uncover while you're just walking to the left.
In another in like a possible version of this game, what I mean to say is this starts that way, sort of, where there's like these hanging obelisks in the sky, and it's like, okay,
the first couple minutes,
Prague album cover, I'm into this. And then you go to a music festival and you go to mine and the game's over. Like they never, if there is a part of this alien aesthetic they're going with that's interesting, it's right in that beginning section, because the rest of it is fire and ice powers as portrayed by I don't know, like Tron blocks or something, just like stupid cyber rocks for the rest of the game.
Yeah. And it goes into like generic sci-fi really quick, where you see the obelisks and then you see like a bunch of like fighter spaceships or whatever show up, and it's like, oh, okay.
Warhawk going
so that's what's happening. So what now? What now is like one bad guy, and it's like stupid cyber tigers that I feel like I've seen in other games before. But there's like a person in a mech suit who's like sitting on top of things sometimes. And then person with the mech suit finally runs into you, but he doesn't kill you. He helps you. Yeah, that's where it turned even darker for me, where this game became anime, where it's like cyber anime girl doing backflips and like no scoping robots. Like, what? Cardinal video game sin of having a thing you can't control be way cooler than the thing you are controlling. There you go. Love that. And that creates this sort of narrative, kind of, that doesn't really make too much sense to me. Like, spoilers aside, like when you go to that inside room where you do the generator, was that pre-existing? Is that an alien structure? Like, what? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Beats me. Yeah, because you get towards the end, you get taken underwater to like some facility place. Yes. But like there's a sense of urgency. There's like loud noises happening. Yes. But I didn't know the aliens could swim. I assume they put it way at the bottom of the water because the aliens couldn't get there, but they still got there somehow. Yes, but like it feels as though some span of time is happening between the beginning of the game and like there. Like that could be months later or a week or a day. It's like impossible to know because the aliens have sort of changed the world in some ways, it seems like. Mm-hmm. But then you also run into like Ravenholm, like we've outfitted the city and we're hiding here. And and then you proceed to immediately try and leave it for some reason.
Yeah, because you would need to keep moving because it's a video game and you can't just sit here,
Right.
but nobody talks. Just let people talk. This game would have been 100 times better if people just talk to each other, but it's like this artsy, like clench fist game where all you do is press A and your guy clenches his fist in a really weird way.
Oh, that's fun. Make them like fidget all the time. Just
flinching.
flinching.
It's really uncomfortable. Because I never knew if I could like what am I to do in this world? It's so hard to tell. So you just kind of go around pressing A, but that just makes him go like clench his fists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Way, so
that's another problem is like being able to read the environment, being able to understand what you're supposed to do isn't always clear. And that was something that Inside got away from because all you can do is move left and right.
Yeah.
And in this, you can move forward and backward. It's 3 dimensions. So you just like wander around to just empty parts that are meaningless.
Yes. Constantly.
And then think that they mean something because you don't realize that you're supposed to do like pull on a stupid sign to make the boat get dislodged from its rope or something.
Right.
That part took me way too long.
There's this added element of the 3D stuff, but outside of that, it's just Inside. And also, any of the parts where you're actually doing anything, do not use the 3D because the 3D, like you said, is just to get lost. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
You're never in an area where it's like explore.
Right.
You're always just moving left.
Mm-hmm.
You just get funneled down into Mineshaft or, Fairgrounds or something. Like it's just so desperately wants to be inside, but also not. I don't know.
Yeah.
It really feels like they wanted to move things in a different direction and then they gave up or it failed and they just relied on what they knew or something.
Yeah. Yeah. More interesting in screenshots. I think I would get more value out of just seeing like screenshots of this game than I would have playing it.
But I felt like a physical reaction because anytime I felt that way, I just knew that it was because I was looking at one of 5 moments that they built, trailer moments where it's
totally.
Like, ooh, the mannequins. And the mannequins is a cool shot. That's a cool little sequence, but like the rest of the game ain't that.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the game doesn't look that good either. It's like I don't think the low poly kind of character model thing works very well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting, I like it as an idea for making an indie game so that you can not have to make things very detailed and then just pull the camera so far away that it doesn't matter.
If it was like 2013,
okay,
maybe.
Sure.
I feel like we've evolved from.
Yeah.
This feels like end of Xbox 360, like summer of arcade. Oh man, Somerville, yeah. I mean, it's not the best one this year, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And now, like, this just feels so ancient and gross, and you move so slow through this 2-hour game.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah. You like puzzle solving? All the puzzles are basically the same.
I know, because you just you have your firepower and your ice power, and it's either melt the thing or freeze the thing, and that's it. And there's there's nothing ever to do except the thing to do to solve the puzzle. It's just so crazy. Like there's no you don't think about anything.
Right. It's like it feels like if you come up with an idea that simple that you would have to have thought of some cool thing to do with it.
Right.
Outside of just, melt something so that you can get further along.
Right.
For the rest of the game.
It's like if your power was to press a button and every puzzle was just a button.
Oh, yeah.
Or climb a ladder and at the top is a button and now you can press the button below.
So cool. So I can get further in this cave that has nothing else going on.
But it's full of alien rocks.
Whoa!
That you have to melt with your alien rock melting power. And then I think at the end they try to do what you're talking about, where it's like it gets all trippy.
Yeah. I appreciated kind of the sentiment, I guess, where they tried to make it get all trippy, but the practicality of it it felt like they just wanted to reuse sections of the video game for economic purposes. So they just have you play through sections again, except now you can walk through the wall with your melty arm.
Yeah, that didn't hit like I thought.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was supposed to, because it's just like, oh, this part again, huh? And it's not such a long game, or you don't go on, so your character doesn't change enough over the course of it where it's like, oh man, remember when I was in the basement and I touched this guy's hand and then I have a hand? It's like, oh, this was like an hour ago. And
yeah, right. Yeah, and it was also being played like there was some big revelation or something that was supposed to exactly recontextualize these moments that you're revisiting, but no.
You just have anime powers, and then you can Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Close Encounters of the Third Kind is all over this game, but
I've never seen.
I haven't actually either, but I know the beginning is straight out of Close Encounters, and I know the end is straight out of Close Encounters.
Really? Okay. Kumbaya?
Kumbaya, yeah. What did that do anything for you? The weird like puzzle ending?
I wish, yeah. Okay. I wish it did. It's Simon Says?
It's Simon Says, but there's no Simon. You're just saying. You're just like, okay, do the thing if you know it.
Mm-hmm.
Or look it up.
Yep.
That anyone is able to intuit what you're supposed to do there is crazy to me, but I guess there's a way to do that. But
yeah, I think I might have caught a glimpse of it in like one porta potty or something. There's like a symbol there, and I was like, okay, that probably means something.
And then you're supposed to like pay attention to the little Spirited Away heads that are rolling around.
Okay.
And they go like,
sure.
Bloop, bloop,
Yep.
bloop. But if this is supposed to be like they're inside like the weird, like, what is it, like the cornfield where you find the secret VR
secret base or something. Yeah.
That's not what this is.
No.
This is just like, here's an ending to a game and you can look it up on the internet if you want. And all of the endings are bad.
Yeah.
Because there's no story.
No.
Or resolution.
Right.
Your character doesn't change in any way over the course of the game.
No. Like the endings even barely change. Like there's a post-credits scene that's like 3 seconds long that you would think they would change drastically depending on what ending you get, because you can just like obliterate every human living thing, I think, is one ending. But the post-credits is the same. It's just like the house that you were in, except it's overgrown. And then it's just your dog if you kill everyone, instead of also having you there.
But what does it mean?
Cool. I don't care.
Okay. Well, I'm falling into bad habits again, but to talk about other people talking about this game.
Ooh.
I don't feel like there's a huge positive response, but I feel like people are like, yeah, this isn't great, but I love the storytelling and I'm just like, what storytelling? What story is there? There's nothing. No. Even if I'm being as charitable as possible and we like dig into all these details and there's like the three people and you're like reliving parts of that and they're like transferring their consciousness to you and there's this war going on between aliens.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There's nothing to dig into. There's no characters to like or understand. It's very vague and it relies so much on you knowing how sci-fi works and just like,
yeah. Not a fan. I was looking for some kind of like driving force, something. Yeah. Give me something. Cause I don't know. Inside didn't really have much of one either.
But I love Inside.
Right. There's so much cool stuff happening. Yeah. And you just want to know what kind of crazy curveball they're going to throw you in the next 20 minutes.
Because like in Inside, there's like that part, it's so good. You can just see the confidence there that it does not exist in this game where there's like the big pounding.
Yep.
And you like, it's very faint at first and you kind of get closer and closer and then it's like crazy. But then it's not like the game is like, and now use this for the rest of the game to get through rock walls or something.
Yeah.
It's just something that's allowed to exist in the background as part of this kind of environment that you're in. And this is just like, you're at a music festival and then you're done with the music festival. But there's nothing interesting in that besides the aliens, which you've already seen their bag of tricks. Like it's just, you're done.
Yeah. Inside felt threatening in a cool way. Like
Yes.
it's unpredictable. Like when there's a creepy hair thing swimming around in the
Yeah.
water that just pulls you down deeper, and then you get to watch like a little boy drown. That's unsettling.
Right.
In a way that a bearded dude lifting up his glowy arm until fade to black isn't.
It's like Death Cab Roadie is like, maybe that's it. There's like no danger in this game because worst case scenario, a light shines on you and then you kind of fall over and then it reloads you. It's like, what?
Yeah, right.
This is what defeated humanity is glowy lights.
Right.
And you can hide in a porta potty. Like nobody thought to hide in a porta potty, and so humanity fell because.
Right. But somehow, I mean, in the beginning, you get knocked out, and then you wake back up, and then you're the woman, the partner, and kid are just gone.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I guess they're dead.
Right.
And then your dog's still there, so I guess they didn't take the dog with them.
Dog's okay.
And then you just walk. I don't know where to until you just keep walking. And then you fall in a river, and then you get to a place where you pass out, a building, an inhabited building, and then, oh, your wife and kid are there. Awesome.
You're saying...
And then you take pills, and then you're not sick anymore. Oh, that's really good.
I got a cold from the river.
But you just want to keep going, despite the fact you found a safe place with people and civilization. You just want to keep walking.
Yeah.
And then your wife and kid get killed again.
It really is basically Half-Life 2 in aesthetic and structure and everything. But maybe Half-Life 2 is better for not giving you a family that you need to go find or something. Like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
But there's definitely not the sense of like eerie loneliness that Half-Life 2 had.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like this sense of oppression with the Columbine.
Yeah.
Combine. Oops.
Well, yeah, because they do such a good job of establishing that early on, like what they've done, but they don't come out and say it. But you know what? Half-Life 2, they let people talk. And I really think this game would have been a lot better if people could just talk and tell you what's going on.
Right.
But that would ruin the mystique.
Hey, maybe their next one will be good.
No. What if it's a sequel?
Oh, no. They got to know better than that. Come on.
What if you're a big ball of alien parts at the end and then you roll down a hill?
Sign me up.
Okay.
Gosh. Makes me want to play that game again.
I know, right? Because that's probably a more ambiguous ending than this game has, but I found it more fulfilling because it's like...
Totally.
It made a certain
100%.
amount of sense.
Absolutely.
In that context. So, I don't know.
Absolutely. Man, I just wanted Inside again with aliens, and they goofed it up.
Yeah.
There's a blueprint right there.
Different stuff. Give us sequels to the games we like.
Right. I don't know. There's a blueprint right there, and they did something way less interesting.
Yeah. It's a bummer. Were you playing on PC?
It's playing on PC. Yes, sir.
Did you have
technical problems?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I did too. Yeah.
Yes.
Physics related primarily. I had lots of physics problems.
Related.
Yeah, like your baby gets picked up sometimes, and like he would be freaking out.
Yeah,
if you wigging out and ragdolling
all
all over the place.
Lots of like weird clipping through the environment.
Yep. Love that.
Like really early on in a way where it's like, oh man, is this game okay? And
Were you playing on Xbox?
No, I was on PC.
You were on PC also. Got it.
I was having weird performance issues, maybe. I mean, I have a pretty old computer at this point, but it didn't seem like the game was so good looking that it's like, why? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not great.
Oh, well, they made a video game. They don't need Play Dead anymore, Tucker.
It has the feel of like, I don't mean to ascribe something to this game or like this societal shift or something, but this is very much a Game Pass game, and this just felt like Netflix original movie where it's just kind of like tossed off.
Bird Box the game.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, this is technically a major movie, but it's
Sandra Bullock's here.
It's just kind of hanging out on the streaming service, and you can kind of it's here to fill out a library.
Right. It's here so that when you scroll past it, you'd be like, oh, that's on here. Cool. I'm getting so much value out of this subscription.
Oh, I love anime aliens.
Of course.
I love dog. Little pupper. Where'd the dog go?
I don't know. He's so smart, dude. He knew to hide under the tent when the alien light was coming.
This is the greatest mystery. It's the last great mystery we need to solve with this game. I remember you being with a dog and then the dog disappearing, and then War of the Worlds style just shows up at the end, and he's like, Robbie! So that was cool.
It's great. It's great.
I don't know.
It's good. Yeah, it strikes me as like, I don't know. My headcanon now is that this producer guy from Playdead was probably getting sick of like, man, you guys spend too much time on these. You're spending too much time trying to figure out a good one of these. I'm going to go and just make one.
Why are you storyboarding?
Exactly. Let's just make one, okay?
Just put it in a house. Easy. Go to the top of the bell tower and then the bell falls, but you're not there because you're on an alien spaceship.
Start panning over trees, car, headlights.
Late title card. Get this, okay?
Okay.
Infinite Bike Street.
Dude, let's make that a puzzle.
Okay, the part where you freeze the car and then the cars pile up is awesome.
Yes, dude. Tiny little nugget of a good idea.
Yeah.
In this 2-hour-long video game.
And it's so disappointing because all the other like weird simulation stuff is so stupid.
Yeah.
But they have like one good idea. I had the weird thought playing it many times where it's just like, do people just hate coming into work and making this? Because it's so joyless and it's just like the puzzles are so like rudimentary and it's just like, yep, for the last 3 months I made a cave that you kind of like melt rocks in, and it's like, this
push
is
the mine cart, pull the lever to move the tracks for the mine cart.
Somebody had to figure that out, and I'm sure they lost sleep over it, and they were like, this just mine cart isn't working, and it's like 2 seconds out of this stupid game where all you do is push a mine cart down a hill. Oh, I don't know.
Oh well.
Where do you want to put this thing, Kristen?
Interesting. An interesting comparison point in my mind is Rhyme. That's another game thing. Right?
Immediately I thought of Rhyme.
Yeah.
During this, yes.
Yeah.
Rhyme is better than.
I agree.
Okay. Where is this?
Pretty easily.
Rhyme is 48.
48.
Okay, so it's below 48.
Below 48.
Would you recommend this to anyone, Christian? Would you ever be like, hey, check this out?
Like maybe someone really new to video games, maybe. I could see this being interesting.
They can't handle inside. It's like that would be too much. So it's like, let's
right.
ease you in a little bit.
Yeah. This and Limbo.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
That's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
I think Limbo's better because the aesthetic works a lot better.
Yeah. Right.
And I feel like even at its worst, when you're in the mines in Limbo, it's still more interesting from a puzzle perspective.
Right.
It's so crazy that Limbo came out, like 12 years ago or something? And
right.
We're still just like this much further down the road, a game can come out and just be that, but like way worse. And that's just fine. And people are like, yep, this is cool.
Man, that's depressing.
Like, where are we going with the video?
I don't know. Like, Limbo was like one of the first indie games that was hitting the scene, dude.
It would be like if a game came out and it's like, this is kind of like Braid, but the puzzles aren't very good. And it's like, well, then why make it?
Right. I don't know.
But it's got a weird... It's like about a war or something. You liked that. And Braid, sort of.
Hey, if... the studio who made Somerville was acquired by a different, bigger studio, so as far as they're concerned, mission accomplished.
They're getting paid. They got their check. Okay. Very good.
So now they can find another art director and churn through another one.
Yeah, seriously. This time it's got like well, it's an Unreal 5.
Ooh,
that's right.
Dude, we got Lumen.
Ooh. It only cuts your FPS by 40 to 45.
Ray tracing on.
What?
Turn ray tracing on, please.
No, I don't have that. I'm sure it would
okay.
make this
Next
game
time.
even better.
Next time.
It would make that UFO cart you're in shiny or something.
Ooh, yeah.
Gosh. Dead Space 3 is better than this, yes?
I agree.
Okay. I'm still getting kind of a feel for where you're at. I really, really dislike this game.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
Yeah. It gets you. You know what? I told you I wanted a linear game that you just kind of work through, and that's exactly what this was. So, as far as that goes, mission accomplished.
You're welcome.
No, because there is a satisfaction in that.
Totally. Oh, yeah. Oh, it felt so good just starting a game and finishing it.
Yep.
Like 3 hours later.
Yep. That's good. So,
Closing the book.
can't argue that. Man. There's so many Sonic games, and it's really hard to parse out,
Yeah.
within
totally.
that realm.
Star Fox Adventures. How about that one?
This is in that ballpark, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I put below Sonic R. How about that?
Perfect.